So this is the last video of this small series of the Houdini basics. So let's get started. You can see how this current mesh has no collision. So basically, if we have a character in our game, then it can walk across these walls. But don't worry, Houdini engine has a way to solve this issue. So we are going to be using the group nodes, which basically takes all the polygons and all the information of the models into and separates it and breaks it into groups. So we can have different groups and each one is going to behave different in Houdini. So just after the last node, I created a group node and I just called it mesh group. You can use any name and there's no problem with that. And then in the end, I am going to use a second merge node. So in order to create the collisions, I am going to duplicate the first group that it comes out from the last node, which in my case is a facet one. And I am going to call it Unity Collision Geo. That is a keyword that it is going to be used by Houdini engine to create the collision meshes in the Unity side. So I am going to add that group into the merge node too. And I am going to save that node and export it back to Unity. And notice how the Unity collision geo group is now a mesh collider. So you can create different rigid bodies and they are going to collide into this collision group. And of course, if we want to change any of the parameters into our model, the collision mesh is going to be updated too. So what about the materials? For adding a material, the standard way of doing it is we just create a material in Unity and then we only have to drag it into the model. However, in Houdini engine, this is not the case because as soon as we update any of the parameters, the model is going to be rebuilt again and the material is going to be lost. So what we have to do in order to add materials into a Houdini digital asset is that we have to put it into a folder called resources. Maybe if you are familiar with Unity, maybe you know this kind of folders. So once we have the material into the resource folder, then we can call it from Houdini. So just under the first group, we are going to add a attribute create node. Attribute are like values stored into the models, but Unity can read them. I mean, Houdini engine can read them. And we are going to call this attribute Unity material. And in the class, we are going to select we are going to check out the name, and then in the type we are going to select a string and we are going to call it Caserwall, or we are going to type the name of the material. Then we are going to go back to Unity and notice how the material is being applied automatically, and it is maintained even if we change the settings of our model. So now we have to add a UV mesh, a UV map, I mean. Notice how Houdini engine has different UV nodes, and every node has different type of operations. However, for this case, I am going to use a UV project node, which basically is like a planar projection for our model. And after that, if I want to see how is the UV map being applied, I am going to add a UV quick shade, which allows us to see a preview of the UV map. Then we can modify the values of the UV map and notice how we can change it. When I am happy with the current UV map, I am going to save the node and go back to Unity. I am going to click Rebuild, and notice how the material is being UV mapped even if the mesh is changed. The UV maps in Houdini are a bit different from what we know. This is only a small preview of what we can do. And however, notice how we can make like procedural assets with no time, and we can use this into our game immediately. Houdini engine is even more powerful than this small example. This model is actually very basic. However, even with something that basic, we can begin to create more complex levels in no time. And yeah, I mean, you can use Houdini for any kind of asset that needs some kind of repetitive pattern. So I hope you enjoy this small videos about Houdini engine. I will try to make more. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy these videos.